Hey there, Squirrel Army, and welcome to another data deviation. And today we are discussing Kamahl, Heart of Krosa. This is a card that came from Commander Legends, the original Commander Legends. So it's a couple of years old, and I do think that this got overlooked a little bit when it first came out and whatnot, and it's sort of been forgotten about by a lot of people, as per the data that is out there on EDH Rec and whatnot. It's only in 13,000 decks of the, over 753,000 decks that it could go in. So it's only in 2% of decks that it could go in. I think this card is very underrated. Its second ability, which is to turn your lands into 1/1 elementals, which basically turns them into 3/3s once you go to combat. They also have Vigilance, Indestructible, Haste. Isn't that amazing of an ability? It isn't the worst ability in the world, but I think that's the least relevant ability. But I really think the main reason that people don't seem to love this card as much, perhaps, is because it's not as sort of broken as the old Kamahl, where you can basically turn everyone's lands into creatures and then blow up everyone's lands and whatnot, and things like that. That's kind of what people want. And it is 8 mana, so I get why some people say that it isn't that amazing. And yes, again, it doesn't belong in every deck, and it doesn't belong in every meta game. I'm not going to say that. But it is a really good effect. It is a really good budget-based Creator Hoof style of an effect. And the best thing about this card that I think is that it's every turn. It's every turn, every of your turns at least, but it's every turn. So as soon as that Crater Hoof comes down, 99% of the time, it wins the game. And if it doesn't win the game, well, next turn you still probably win because you've got so much on board still. So it's not that much difference. I know a lot of people like Endray's Forerunners. I do like Endray's Forerunners. That one's pretty good because I like the Vigilance, because, again, it gives you that moment to be like, oh, okay, well, I didn't quite kill everyone, so at least I can stick my defenses and sit here and wait for, the table to go around and get back to my turn, and then I can take another crack at killing people. I like this card in similar ways. It gives you that every single turn advantage, and especially when your deck has a lot of smaller creatures, this is a really great card if you're going wide with tokens and whatnot, or even if you have some bigger creatures that don't have trample and whatnot. Just that extra +3/+3 isn't that worrisome in terms of the amount of damage, but in terms of having trample, it certainly is. And just +3/+3 is nice when you do get it, so you don't really complain to say, oh, well, I would just rather have the trample or whatever. It's certainly really good. 5/5 for 8, that isn't amazing, even though it is an 8/8 when it's on your turn. But then again, it's just like, well, it can't attack that turn, but the ability does have haste, so that is very useful. And I do think that this is an underplayed card. I haven't seen that many people discussing people should play this card more, but I certainly want to say that people should play this card more, find more spaces for it, because it's a really useful card that can go in lots and lots of decks. As we can see out there on EGH Rate, that there are nearly 800,000 decks that this could go in, or, just about, sort of. And there's always going to be more and more green decks out there, and there's all these Gruul decks and whatnot, Gruul Stompy decks that you see out there and whatnot. This is a great addition, especially if you're not playing things like Triumph for the Hordes, or you need to play all creatures or whatnot, things like this. It's only $1 card, which means to me that this is a really great budget pickup for a lot of people. I'm sure that if more of these videos got out there, about how good this card actually is when you actually play it, that, you know, this card might be up to a couple of bucks or something. And again, Commander Legends hasn't been printed for quite a while, and there's only probably so many of these cards out there to a degree, but certainly there is a mass supply of them. But still, for $1 to pick this guy up, and for a budget Crater Hoof Behemoth style of an effect, I think it's certainly worth picking up and adding into your decks. It deserves to be in way more than just 13,000 decks, and it can be a really great card in many, many more decks. So if you're on the hunt for a budget Crater Hoof Behemoth style of an effect, I would recommend Kamahl, Heart of Krosa. If you're enjoying the content here, you can join the Screw Army by subscribing and turning on the notifications